Welcome back, Dr. Obi. We had a mini break. This is another episode. Thank you. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you so much. So let's talk about why marriages crash abroad. You've lived there for many years. You've seen so many things the mouth can't say, but so can you just shed more light and teach us,
That's an interesting question. And it's particularly interesting because the way I'm going to explain it is that traveling out can expose all the things that people have been hiding. So when you are in an environment where certain things are allowed,
condoned,
certain things are excused, and then you come into a place where you're sitting down in the bus station, and like you were saying, you see domestic violence, all this, and I remember at work actually, every toilet at work at the back said how to identify abuse. It does not allow you to keep friends. And say call.
Does not allow you to keep. I think that's very important. But people just he's my husband, he's my wife, she's my wife.
Isolating. Purposely isolating an adult from the society. Is abuse.
It's abuse.
Yes, it is. It is. You always think about the motive. Does this person have mental capacity? This person you're saying you can't keep friends with that. Can they make decisions for themselves?
Wow.
Yes, if they can. I'm not talking about an 80-year-old saying I want to go and play in the park and they say no.
I'm adult. Like somebody in their late 20s or 30s or something, married.
Yeah, you need to pay attention to that.
So if, for example, a woman does not want her husband to make friends,
that is an abuse. That's abuse.
That's abuse.
Some people's understanding of the world from how they were socialized as children is that the world is not a safe place. So when they come into a relationship, they carry that the world is not a safe place and then try to impute it on somebody else who maybe perhaps has been raised to see that the world is a safe place. You can have relationships, you can laugh, you can learn from others, you can share. So that's a difficult thing. You're transferring your insecurities onto someone else. Sometimes that actually can be also for control. So if I shut you out of the world, that's massive manipulation and control. Perhaps my fear is I don't want
her to be exposed to the real thing.
I don't want somebody to come and tell her
this is wrong.
There's food out there. What are you doing? I don't want someone to come and tell her that there's more out there for you. What are you doing? You can be more. You can do more with your life. Why are you locked up in isolation?
And sometimes I think about this kind of thing, and then I remembered listening to a woman talking about this, like Ibukwa Woshika, talking about God has purpose for those women as well. In as much as God has purpose for men, God also has purposes for women. I was like, this is true. So, and she was like, why would you do that to a woman? Why would you cage her? Why would you? And I'm like, I think this is what I think, and perhaps maybe I was just quiet or I've been quiet, not telling people, this is wrong.
Yes.
But hearing that from an adult who, by God's grace, is a great leader, great woman in profession, married. And sometimes some men, they tell their wives that if that person is your friend, she wants to destroy your home, and they say those things to keep those women in bondage. But I don't think a lot of women I don't think women will tell men to say that if you are with that lady or something or their wives, that woman will destroy your life. They can say it, but not like the way those husbands or those partners say to their wives, that woman wants to destroy your home, because they see that woman as being vocal. I remember, I'm watching YouTube Justice Court, and a woman was talking, and I saw negative comments online, and I needed to speak out, and I said, no, please, can you be kind, to these people? People were actually abusing the woman, and that's what the society has done to people, to women.
I feel like when we're talking about things like control and manipulating people, it is also important to know that there are people who are not good for your marriage. So let's
no, that's very true. That as adults, I think we have that sense, that discernment to know that you can't say you are married or you have many friends here and there, this one there, that one there, and you don't have values, you don't have your values are not the same, you don't have personal values. Yes, and thank you for talking about that. Honestly, as women, you need to know your worth. You need to, it doesn't mean you cannot talk to people, but you just have boundaries.
Absolutely.
You will not just let everybody in your space. But what we're trying to talk about is, for women who are abused, sometimes they don't even have anybody in their space, and the only people they have in their space are
the person who is
abusing them,
or the woman who's abusing
the man, and all they just want to do is to isolate and confine them within that space. And they use words, like verbal words, or words are verbal. They abuse their spouses,
or financially, because at that point that person is at the stage of what you call learned helplessness.
That's true.
Where else am I going to go?
I can't go anywhere.
I can't do anything. I haven't got money. I haven't got this. I'm not
working.
So that person will do whatever you say because they learned help. It does happen a lot to children, because children are more vulnerable.
Yes.
Whatever you do to your child, where they go?
Where would they go?
It's the same thing that you can do to an adult if you take away everything, including family and friends. I don't want them in my space and stuff like that. That complying can be because I am helpless.
And they're trying to now survive.
So
just manage everything.
Wake up in the morning and do what I need to do, and go to bed and wake up again. Yes, that's not living.
And for some people, they will not even be able to survive this for years. They will break down, and totally they become hospitalized, institutionalized, because they've stayed very long or too long in their abuse. And we will still clear some things, based on what we are talking about. This is not about, divorce or anything. Everybody would have to make their choices. But all we're just trying to say is that, human beings created in the purpose and the likeness of God, does not need further damage. What I mean by that is that humans as a whole, one way or the other, there has been different damages here and there, and the marriage is meant to complement, two people working together, being united, becoming power couple, and raising whole children, and that's the purpose of marriage, what we call that marriage, that institution formed by God, not a suppressive one, and we're not talking like women westernized or something. We're talking as women, who are made in the image of God, who are saying this is the biblical way. God wants every one of us to be whole.
One of the things I want to remind you before I know you very soon you're going to wrap up this session is, if you look at the impact of, and let's not even talk about physical. That's very important, but that usually gets the attention of everyone. But if we look at the emotional abuse and how most people sit in it, and then the quality of life when they age,
very true.
Most of them are prone to all sorts of health complications. The new one now, in terms of research, is autoimmune disease.
Very true, and because there's a lot of bitterness, unforgiveness,
Absolutely.
We'll wrap up the session and still continue on this topic because it's very broad. Thank you very much, everyone.